Hey friends, it's the last hot news of the year. You ready to get your tech news? We're going to talk about Nvidia's next-gen GPU. We got people buying a ton of GPUs for mining, and Stalker 2 in-engine screenshots have come out. We're gonna get into that after I give you a little personal word that I kind of want to talk to you guys about, as well as today's video sponsor. But in case you want to skip all of that, timestamps, as always, are down below in the description so that you can just get to the articles that you want. But it's the end of 2020. It's been a rough year. You can get your I Survived 2020 merch now, and officially, by the time it gets delivered, won't be a lie, as long as you're still alive when you're able to use it. Man, this has just been a rough year for me personally, and with my family, and obviously everybody's gone through struggles this year. So I'm thankful for the community, thankful for you guys that you've been there throughout the entire mess of changes that had to happen this year. Even before COVID hit, I mean, we had to move across the world, and Reece and Catlin joined us this year, but then that all fell apart, and I mean, a lot of stuff has fallen apart this year. I don't really regularly update you guys on what's going on with my son, but it's not good. Things aren't good. He's on 5 different anti-epileptic medications, and none of them are working, and we've tried everything. We're literally trying everything, and we've looked at all research, whether it's new or upcoming, and he's in experimental drug trials, and we've been through a really, really rough year, and it doesn't look like it's letting up. Even if there's hope on the horizon for COVID, that doesn't even begin to change any of the struggles that we've kind of been going through this year. And so I'm thankful that you guys have provided me with the stability of being able to work from home with tech news and tech stuff. Like, it's been great to have the ability to do that, and just constantly being there for us this year and making sure that my family is provided for, because that's been a huge stress, that just trying to make sure that my son gets the care that he needs. And I know that at the very least, even if we can't find that, we have a community of people out on the internet who are graciously supporting us. So that's my thank you to end off this year. I'm super grateful for everything. And now let's talk about the sponsor who I'm grateful for, just to transition into that. ButcherBox. This is how my family gets our meat, because we try to make sure that we're doing things efficiently and economically and responsibly as possible, and ButcherBox allows us to do that, because their goal is to provide the highest quality meat that you can, whether that's 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, heritage breed pork, and wild-caught seafood. You can get all of that on an unbeatable value with less than $6 per meal, and shipping is always free. They also care about the improving livelihoods for farmers, making sure things are sustainable, and it's easy for you to be able to customize a box of whatever ButcherBox provides, whether it's the beef or the chicken or the seafood. You can get that, making sure that it's showing up at your door every month with free delivery in a box that's not going to let your meat thaw. It's going to come into you frozen, and it's going to be great for you. It's been such a time saver for us, especially in this age of COVID, where we don't necessarily want to go to the grocery store as much. It's definitely saved our bacon there. And in previous ad spots, you've been able to get free bacon. Well, now that promotion has ended, but don't fret, they also have a brand new promotion. So in case you want to try that, you can use the link in the video description, sign up for ButcherBox, maybe get started in 2021, see if the meat delivery service is good for you. And with that being said, let's jump into the actual tech news of the day with Nvidia's AD102 Loveless GPU. Some details have been coming out about that. I didn't quite cover the fact that it turns out that there's some indication that the next generation of GPUs is going to be based off of Ada Lovelace and not Grace Hopper, and Grace Hopper might be coming later, or that might be reserved exclusively for data center stuff. Anyways, we have indication that the AD102, at least according to a rumor, will have a ton of CUDA cores, 18,342 CUDA cores, and roughly 66 teraflops of total performance, which would make this thing 71% faster than the current RTX 3090. Now, we don't have a ton of detail as to when this is coming out. There's still some indication out there that we will likely get a super series of the 30 series, so maybe super towards the end of 2021, and then we get this new Loveless GPU coming out in 2022 at some point, or this could potentially just follow a new cadence where Nvidia only releases a GPU every 3 years, and we'll see this in 2023. Regardless, just take this for what this is. It's a rumor that's very early on in any sort of production cycle with regards to brand new GPUs, and I wouldn't be surprised surprised to find out that this holds no weight whatsoever in the coming days. Which in the coming days, we're expected to get brand new laptops out of AMD, Intel, and Nvidia, with some details now being specified on the RTX 30 series mobile. We're expecting that these are going to be announced at CES by Nvidia. They already have a keynote scheduled for that, but the RTX 3080 mobile, 3070 mobile, and 3060 mobile being detailed here. As you can see, it turns out that the RTX 3080 mobile has about as many, just a little bit more CUDA cores than the desktop 3070. So essentially just think that it's going to step down basically if you get the full powered one, which is Max P. If you get Max Q, it's going to be even worse off than that. But just hold tight for a couple of weeks and then we'll get more details upcoming on Nvidia's mobile processors. But we also have some details on Gigabyte passing through some GPUs to the EEC filings, which indicates that they're going to have a bunch of 3080 Ti's and 3060 12 gigs in case that interests you. And somebody was very interested in getting their Ethereum mining farm set up with 78 RTX 3080s, which is just look at all of those 3080s. Essentially, this costs about $100,000 to set up, and with the electricity costs being deducted, will net about a profit of $128,000 a year, which means that after paying off the cards would be $28,000 in profit. Obviously, all of this indicates current profitability levels, which is just always the name of the game with crypto. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not guaranteed on this, but I'm pretty sure that somebody who's building a $100,000 crypto farm is in it for the currency and not so much the raw cash value. Obviously, they're going to take the cash to help pay for things, but somebody who's this dedicated to it likely is doing it because they care about the actual cryptography side of things, the cryptocurrency side of things. And while you probably won't make $28,000 on crypto this year yourself, what you can do is play Pokemon Sword on somebody else's Nintendo Switch from across the internet, at least until Nintendo may or may not take this down, because the co-founder of Surrogate TV set up a Raspberry Pi interface to connect to a Nintendo Switch that allows you to put inputs into their website and actually play the game for 60 seconds at a time. You can see right here that there is currently somebody playing this in real time. Here's a 50-second countdown until it is not his turn anymore, and then it moves on to the next person. This is kind of just an intriguing way to play games on the internet. It's sort of like Twitch plays Pokemon, but not quite in the same vein. I'll leave a link in the video description in case you want to check out this version of Pokemon Sword for Surrogate TV. Which, while we're staying on the game train, Yoko Taro has talked about the fact that he has 2 more games in development. Apparently one is super unsettling, and there's another one that is been in development before the unsettling one, which is about as much detail as we're going to get until they're ready for a full announcement. But we got more details on Stalker 2, which, in case you don't remember, was a game that was announced back in 2010 and then canceled back in 2012, and then was announced, I believe, during an Xbox showcase to be coming out again. Anyways, we got our first real look at some in-engine footage, which it looks great. It's based on Unreal Engine 4, but I'll leave links in the video description for you to check out the whole thing in case you're interested in that. And it turns out a lot of people are interested in partying, so much so that a company created an app called Vibe Together that allows you to just find people to meet up with. And Apple has pulled it from their app store for apparently there's a pandemic going on and they don't want people gathering. I don't know. Apparently this company was marketing all over TikTok for you to get your Rebel on to find places that are kind of like on the lowdown to be able to go play with each other outside, indoors, private parties. Nobody random's going to show up. You could be invited to this. And I think with it being pulled from the Apple App Store, it's a really good consequence to have people being forced to use the crappy Android operating system to do this for the future. Yeah. That's what you get. You should have thought of that before you decided to go party during a pandemic, friends. Stuck on Android now. Staying on the Apple side of things, Apple's M1 and A14 Die Shots have come out, and you can see the comparison showing the differences between the mobile phone processor as well as the mobile notebook processor, in case you're interested in those details. Amazon, on the other hand, talking of trillion-dollar companies, has purchased the podcast network Wondery, which we said was allegedly in the works according to reports that were coming out. It's now been made official. So get ready for YouTubers promoting more Audible, but focusing on the podcast features. Is coming to a screen near you, my friends. And just to kick it up a notch for the last show of 2021, Peloton is going to introduce 3 remixed Elvis tracks. Yeah, never heard an Elvis song in my life. I don't even know why I talked about that one. Anyways, Google is apparently experimenting with showing short form video in their Google search results, which include TikTok and Instagram stories that could potentially pop up on your feed. This has been reported showing that not only was it originally including YouTube videos, but now it does show things from Instagram and TikTok. You see here, these are official results from the Green Bay Packers in case somebody was searching for that. Google said that they are currently just testing it out and they're not sure if it's actually going to stick, but Google obviously testing the algorithm all of the time. And NASA wants to test space weather, yes, because we got to be worried about that too. NASA setting aside $55 million for 2 different projects that they're going to be embarking on for heliophysics that could give us a better understanding of solar winds and solar explosions, which will be great. I don't like solar winds whipping my face. And you won't be able to take as good of ultrawide photos of those if you're on the Google Pixel 5 or for a 5G, because Google has stripped the ultrawide camera from their ability to do astrophotography photos. Google hasn't commented as to why they removed that. You can only use it with the regular camera or the telephoto one, but according to user reports, the ultrawide wasn't very good and introduced a lot of digital noise, so it's expected that it's just because it sucked is the reason Google removed it. But full self-driving on Tesla is not going to suck for very long because, no, this article has nothing to do with it getting better. Anyways, Elon Musk promising on Twitter, anybody who purchases a Tesla by today will get 3 months of full self-driving added to their car, but you have to have your delivery and docks fully completed by midnight of December 31st. Okay, you can't just go and put the $100 deposit. You got to be actively like get in the car, and you got to get no more eye strain. And thankfully, there's a company that's going to be producing a 25-inch monitor that's going to help you out. Dasung's Paperlike 253 is going to come in a 25-inch e-ink setup with 16 shades of gray. I personally was hoping for 50, 3200 by 1800 resolution with no backlight just to help with eye strain. And one of the big things that they do show is that the refresh rate is not as terrible as you would find on a typical e-reader, which means that I might potentially be super interested in this for like getting hot news articles ready to just prevent any eye strain that I'm happening, because this actually looks really good if it's just tech stuff or basic level coding that you're doing, maybe not hacker coding like you see in the movies where everything's flying past you, but for regular use cases, I'm actually super intrigued about this now. And I'll leave a link in the video description in case you want to check out more details of that. Anyways, that's going to be the last episode of Hot News for the year. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in during this crazy year that it's been, for everybody who's been with us through the transitions, whether it's been the transition from South Africa to the US or from the UFD Tech channel onto this channel, just trying to figure a whole bunch of stuff out this year. And I'm super thankful for you. And I'm super thankful for today's video sponsor, ButcherBox. Check them out. The link in the video description. Get your meat delivered to you, my friends. It's a great thing. I love that. I love when we get our monthly deliveries of ButcherBox. And I love you. And I'll see you in 2021. Cheers, friends.